Hi guys, it's Ada from Matthews and you love to come in a little bit on Spurs. This is my take on teams, players, transfer, and whatever situation. Like I always say to people, I'm not the best to give you the exact update on players transfer. I only tell you what I see on the news and what other people are reporting. I'm also not the best to give you minute by minute as it happening. But you know what I'm good at? I'm good at analyzing it. I analyze how football will go, the players that have been signed, what they bring, and how the teams that they are signing for will play. That's the best that I know how to do. Like I say, I'm the best when it comes to analyzing. So even the dog acknowledges that I'm the best when it comes to analyzing. But let's bring this thing down. I've got a few questions that a lot of people are asking me. Questions like, okay, what would Osimhen bring to a team like Arsenal if Arsenal signs him? Even though I'm not Fabrizio Romano, I'm going to see this clearly. Remove your mind from it. It's never going to happen. It is never going to happen this window. Arsenal will not sign with Osimhen. Yes, there's rumor, people talk about it. But first off, Osimhen's salary makes it impossible. That's one. Two, Osimhen does not want to go on loan. Three, the best option for his sale right now is that Lukaku Osimhen swap deal. The reason why Osimhen is not going to Chelsea for now is because even though Chelsea wants him, he doesn't want to go on loan, and that's the best they can do. Secondly, Lukaku wants to go to Napoli. He wants to play under Conte. One of his best moments as a footballer is under Conte. He wants to play under Conte and have fun under him. Conte also wants him. Conte does not want to see him. So that is a dead deal. So I hate to spend time, saliva, energy, resources doing analysis on Osimhen to Arsenal when I know it's not going to happen. Now, somebody also asked me this question. I said, what do you think of Manchester United? Have they solved the problem of last season? And is there hope that they can hit the ground running like you've predicted that Liverpool will struggle this season? Do you see Man United taking over? If Man United does sign another 3 to 4 players, I think that what happened last season will repeat itself. I know that Man United fans don't want to hear that, but I mean, what was the problem last season? A Yes, Man United have a truckload of injury. Okay. Over 100 times were their players injured over the course of the whole season. So that's also something that we cannot sit here and ignore and pretend like it doesn't matter. Oh, come on, they have a big squad; they should be able to deal with it. But 25 players, if I'm not mistaken, with over 100 times reported injured means a whole lot. Remember 2 seasons ago, the reason why Arsenal didn't win the title, not like they were going to win the ball, they were chasing it, didn't win the title, was the injury to William Saliba, just one player, 10 games to the end of the season, and they went from chasing it to blowing a very big gap between them and City, who were the eventual winners. Okay, last season there was also no injuries to the Arsenal team, but the reason why they didn't win the title was the fact that at some point their form dipped in that November, December, and then they lost against Aston Villa. But that's a different conversation. We'll come to that on the Arsenal squad. Let's talk about Manchester United. So for those of you who are always saying that it doesn't matter whether they get injured, it does really matter. Every big team, one injury can derail a team. Not to talk about when you have over 20 players. So why would I agree that Eric Ten Hag have a portion of the blame, because sometimes there are some games where his selections were suspect, his substitution was suspect. But you must also accept that when his full squad is ready, you saw in the FA Cup finals, he knows how to select his team to get a result. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Will they make the top four this season with the squad they currently have? As of today that we're recording this video, I will completely tell you, if the season were to start today and the window closes and they are not signing any player before the January window, I don't see Man United making the top four. I still see Man United getting beat by teams the way they were beaten last season. They might not have a minus 40, a minus goal deficit at the end of the season, but I don't think they will make the top four as it is. Yes, remember that Aston Villa will be the top four and rank outsiders, and they sneak in by the odds, luck. Okay, Tottenham Hotspur might get better, but Tottenham Hotspur. When they are not chasing, when they are not trying to do better than Arsenal, they don't have anything to pursue. Once Arsenal just find their mojo and Arsenal start competing for the title, Tottenham Hotspur is useless. So we're not even going to spend time, waste energy and resources to discuss a useless team. The most useless team in the Premier League is Tottenham Hotspur. They don't have ambition. They don't want to win anything. They just want to buy players every season, compete. Their greatest goal is to be better than Arsenal. And right now, they celebrate that their stadium is 61,000 capacity, while Arsenal stadium is 60,000 capacity. So definitely, they are better than Arsenal for all they care. They make more money than Arsenal every season. So why should they compete for anything? After all, if you're not winning trophy, then you should be making money. So both of them are not winning trophy, but at least one is making more money than the other one, even though the two of them are making money. But let's talk about Manchester United. I think that the coming of Jim Ratcliffe and his Inyo group have brought in a bit of fresh air to the team, but there's still a lot of confusion because it seems like Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe, I mean, who is old, so I'm not saying he's going to be unalive or he's going to fall down and die anytime soon, but the thing is, his time on earth is shorter, so he might be looking at it like the biggest thing I can do and preserve my legacy forever and ever and ever for generations to come, over 100 years plus, is to build the Wembley of the North, a 2 billion capacity stadium, a £2 billion stadium that is up to 100,000 capacity. Now the reason for that is, even if you build a squad that goes on to win a treble or quadruple, they might get forgotten after some years of losing. But if you build a stadium, that stadium will be there forever. I think that somewhere in the middle of this rebuild, that whole idea of that stadium have taken over, and the man is more focused on that. Because you look at Manchester United as they are today, they need to sell players. They need to sell Scott McTominay, they need to sell Wan-Bissaka, they need to sell Sancho, they need to sell Rashford, they need to sell Casemiro before they can bring in players. They've been linked with almost everybody. Ugarte, what's his name? Matthias De Ligt, and a host of other players. But those players cannot come in until they sell the players that they have to sell. But the way they've gone about it also, they've tried to be a nice club. They've tried not to, just chase the club out, not do the thing that Eric Ten Hag did with Cristiano Ronaldo. I try to be nice to them. That the problem with being nice in leadership position is that you don't get results. Nice people don't get results. So that niceness, lack of brutality have also made it difficult. Man United also do not have the elasticity, the wiggle room to say, okay, let's terminate this contract, because players like Sancho, Rashford, Casemiro, they could easily terminate their contract, let them go, get them off their huge salaries and get in the new players they want to get in, but they don't want to do that. So for them, and I say very big if, so I don't get misquoted, if Man United does not sign the players that they are going after, the Matthias De Ligt, remember, Euro will not play for the first 3 months of the season, so the defense remains what it was towards the end of last season, or last season where they were struggling to defend. They still have a good goalkeeper. I'll tell you that Onana is a good goalkeeper. Have more saves than the goalkeeper, the Golden Glove winner in David Raya. But conceded a lot of goals, and the reason being that the midfield was not stable, and then at some point even the weak midfielders were not playing in center defense, in the case of Casemiro and the rest against Crystal Palace. So you have to understand that if Man United don't face that defensive problem, also face the midfield problem, and get the proper pivots to stay in front of the defense and make sure that there is no more pressure on the defense that eventually goes to the goalkeeper, then there'll be a problem. They should also deal with their handling of crosses. I think that last season they didn't handle the wide areas properly. The crosses were coming in both up in the air and from the ground, like it was a military warfare, and it wasn't easy for them. So if they don't deal with all of that, I don't think that Man United will do better this season than they did last season. Now let's get past that one and let's look at Arsenal. Arsenal seems to be improving every season since Arteta came in, and this season, before the window opened, everybody was expecting that Arteta was going to sign a striker first. But I think what he's done with Calafiori is a good deal. People will say, but you have your Timbers, why are you going for Calafiori? The thing is, 2 seasons ago, again, like I said before, just one injury to Saliba and the team crumbled. So you wouldn't have them play this whole season, gone on to play in the Euros and all that, and you don't expect that somehow, somewhere along the line, something is going to give. So you have your Timbers, you have Calafiori, now you have Gabriel Magalhaes, and you have William Saliba. Again, in his typical way of copying Pep and trying to better Pep, but with Pep's style, is going to be playing 4 centre-back at the face of the back. So you have Ben White, who's a centre-back playing as a right full-back, but he's mastered the act now like a Paulo Maldini, but not like he's Paulo Maldini, but like a Paulo Maldini who can play across anywhere in the back line, and he's doing it very well. And then you have William Saliba, who's, arguably the best defender last season, and then you have his partner in crime in Gabriel Magalhaes, who did a great job on Man City's Norwegian Tor, Erling Haaland, and then you have Calafiori or Jurin Timbers who can both deputize for each other. So there is strength in that whole back line. Then in the midfield, I mean, for now they have Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Jorginho, and Thomas Partey. Two strong players, two weak players. Jorginho can pass forward. Declan Rice doesn't know how to pass forward. He's always passing sideways and backward. But he did well when he was pushed into the number 8 position. If he's playing with number 6, or what we here used to call the number 4 position, he struggles sometimes with his passing. His passing range is not as fantastic as that. But then Arteta have found a way to use him. Arteta have also shown that he knows how to make average players get better. Before coming to Arsenal, Ben White was not that good. Before coming to Arsenal, Aaron Ramsdale was more of a relegation-based goalkeeper. The same for David Raya. But look at what they've become since coming to Arsenal. And then you look at Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm not sure that before Arteta, he was one that everybody trusted. He was prone to error, prone to cards and all that. But look at what he's turned into. William Saliba was a rookie anyway. But under Mikel Arteta, look at the kind of player that he's grown up to be. And then Declan Rice, yes, was good at West Ham, but he's become better at Arsenal. Even though Gareth Southgate did not know how to use him properly, but he's become a better player at Arsenal. Now, the player that have improved the most under Mikel Arteta's touch and training and mentorship or coaching or man management is Kai Havertz. When Kai Havertz was signed, I was one of those who said it was a wasted money, 65 million for what? But then there was something that Arteta really did saw that I was not able to see at the time. And I was judging blindly from what I know of him at Chelsea and what I thought he would bring. I thought it was too lackadaisical, it was too slow, and he couldn't sort out his left leg from his right leg. But then I was wrong. And I agreed to admit that I was wrong. But having said that, I think he now sees that if I get in a Mikel Merino, it means that I wouldn't need to trouble Kai Havertz to come and bother himself in the middle anymore. So it's going to be Mikel Merino, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, and then in some games you can rotate. If he doesn't set Thomas Partey, Jorginho obviously has been extended, so he's not going to sell him. But if he doesn't sell them, then he can rotate in that position, meaning that Arsenal can attempt to play in the league, play in the FA Cup, and play in the Carabao Cup, and then whatever comes in the Champions League. I still don't think that Arsenal is good enough to say they want to win the Champions League. But then semi-finals will not be a bad chase. But now, like last season where they just focus on the league and then focus on doing well in the Champions League, they can look at this squad. If they don't sell any of the players they have immediately again, and then they bring in Mikel Merino, they can say, okay, let's chase the FA Cup, chase the league, and see where we go in the Champions League. I do think that a few more additions will make Arsenal a true title contenders, and they can knock Man City off their perch, because Manchester City are more battling for how to convince Pep Guardiola to extend his contract beyond the end of this season, how to convince Kevin De Bruyne to stay beyond the end of this season, or probably even stay to the end of this season and turn down the idea of going to Saudi Arabia, probably later go to the MLS with Inter Miami to play alongside Messi, as he had said before that one of his goals, one of his dreams in life is to play alongside Lionel Messi. That clock, that window is closing in very, very fast, like a quicksand. So he might want to activate it either this window or the next window. Having said that, you look at Man City also, it is most likely that in the coming days, we will hear that Julian Alvarez have left Man City and have gone to Atletico Madrid. Why that will not bother anybody, especially, it shouldn't make anybody celebrate and so Man City are weaker. The thing is, Foden does everything that he would have done in terms of bringing goal. But again, Pep Guardiola have shown that he can win title without his straight out at a night number 9, and he still does have Erling Haaland, who can do at least minimum his worst season, he can do 20-25 goals. And if you have any center forward in the Premier League that can give you 20-25 goals, then you are sure to win, especially if you can defend very well, if you can ball to yourself very well. I mean, last season we saw a player do over 20 goals for his team and he didn't do too well. That's Chelsea's Cole Palmer. But you know what the problem with Chelsea is, which they have also not solved. They are creating a kindergarten for themselves. I don't want to bother myself talking about them today. Maybe the next video I will talk about Chelsea. But talking about Man City, I think that they've not signed so much addition to their squad. And if they manage to keep everybody, yes, they'll still be the odds-on favorite to win the title. But I think that this is the season where Arsenal, goes to win it and stop them again. Plus all the court case that Man City have had, I think that some of the referees and the VAR decisions will work against Man City. But having said that, I think that Arsenal needs one area that they are not working on, and that really does hurt as an Arsenal fan. If you look at Bukayo Saka in the last couple of seasons, he's giving 75% performance in the course of the season. There is a 25% window where Bukayo Saka is just not there. He's just trekking, he's tired, he's burned out, and becomes a problem. It's the only department where there is no backup for a player in the whole Arsenal team. Every other department have a quality backup. Even in goal, you have a Rams there who's a quality backup. Just that his father got to his head talking about him not smiling and he thinks he wants to leave. But he forgot that when he came into this team, there was a number one called Benelo and also a player who is now one of the best goalkeepers in the world was sold to get him in. Imagine that Amy Martinez was sold and Aaron Ramsey was brought in. That time he was smiling. All of a sudden, a goalkeeper that the coach considered better than you comes in and you're having attitude. Now there's no club even coming to buy him in the first place. Now let's move past that and look at this Arsenal team. Every other position have a substitute, a quality substitute. You can have substitute Gabriel for Kai Havertz. Then look at last season, for instance. Martinelli in the 2 seasons ago was a fantastic revelation, was a great player. But last season he struggled with injury and form. Imagine if there was no Trossard. Look at what Arsenal would have lost. That's exactly what's happened with Bukayo Saka. Once that form of Bukayo Saka goes off, it creates a domino effect because the way Odegaard plays or in the Arteta system, Odegaard is the foot bank for Bukayo Saka and probably whoever plays in the right full back, which oftentimes is Ben White going forward and all that. And he's the guy who is a support base, who is a transformer, their base station. But once that Bukayo Saka is not playing, something just goes wrong with Odegaard. Odegaard does not connect with the left side of attack as much as it connects with the right side of attack. I don't think that's a problem. If they get Mikel Merino, that would solve the problem because Arsenal used to have it in Rosicky and Katsola and Mesut Ozil and all the rest. So they will find a way to iron that out and solve it out. Once that is done, then Arsenal can fire on all cylinders. Those missing margins that made Arsenal not to win the title last season, they'll be able to win it. But having said that, I think that if Arsenal can get somebody who is a backup, that was why I was hoping that he signed Nico Williams before. If they can get him in, that will be fine. Every other player that they've been mentioning, I don't think that they are the best for Arsenal. Federico Chiesa have not played well in the last 3 seasons, not giving more than 25% of any season in the last 3 seasons since after the Euros that England won at Wembley. So I'm not one of those who think that Federico Chiesa is the player to bring in. The only reason why maybe he's turning the head is because he's gone from maybe the range of 30 million to about 12 or 15 million euros, about 12.6 million pounds now. So because of that price, it'll be cheap. But one thing I'll guarantee here is that Federico Chiesa knows that this is the last big contract he will get. He will demand for a high salary, and that could also be a problem. So I think Arsenal should go for players like Nico Williams, go for someone else who would deputize. Don't forget that that player is not coming to become the number one player on the side. But they don't bring in players that are like Fabio or whatever, Vieira, who just comes in and is happy to be in the Arsenal reserve. Players who are angling to play, who are angry to be sitting on the bench, are the players that you should bring in. And if you can rotate properly the way Pep Guardiola have mastered the act of rotating, I'm sure that Arsenal will go on to win the title, probably win a double. If you add the FA Cup to it, I think that they've got a squad that can challenge for that one. Carabao Cup has never been an Arsenal team, so I'm not expecting anything much. Champions League is a new one. We don't know how the format would affect the team, so there's no prediction to be made there. But thank you very much for your time on this channel. If you've not subscribed, please do well to subscribe. Help us to grow. Support this channel as best as you can. One day, we would make you proud. That's all I can say. But for now, help us to grow to get to the point where we can truly make you proud. I guarantee you that during the course of the season, myself and some expert analysts will be giving you regular analysis on the show. Now, for those of you asking questions about the live show, well, the government have, I don't know, but since the strike started, the internet have been terrible in Nigeria. We can't do the live show, so we have to record this and put it to keep you guys going. Thank you very much for your time. Once again, my name is Edafe Matthias. You love to comment the like button on Spurs. Subscribe, turn on the notification, and keep pushing this channel. Thank you, and have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day ahead.